Again, my name is Master Mellish, and today we are going to be speaking with some fine gentlemen from Canada. And just for historical facts, Canada is much larger, bigger in size than America. That's something I want you guys to know. So in Canada, there are several provinces. Liberians live in almost all of those provinces. What has happened over the years is that Liberians have come together to form an organization of some sort just to keep the unity and cohesion with each other. What the organization strives to do would be to assist Liberians to carry out projects, so on and so forth. However, in the midst of some of these things, we need to understand what is really obtaining in Canada. Recently, report in the Daily Observer frowned on Mr. Leo Johnson for representing the Federation of Liberian Associations in Canada. And the call came out from a caddy who said that Mr. Johnson was an imposter and he was misrepresenting himself. He is not the president of FLAC, as it is being called. Well, we have the opportunity now to speak with two of these gentlemen, and I have on the line Mr. John McCarthy and Mr. Bernard Zeze Wallison. My question to you is this. I listened to you very well. I listened to Bernard as well. So, the interim leadership threatened the elections that were held in Windsor, and they decided that if it went ahead, it would be null and void. Am I correct, according to what you guys said?
No, you're not correct. Firstly, the term that we threaten an election, we did not threaten an election. We have legal status in Canada. Mm-hmm. And if you operate under the same name, you are doing it illegally. We don't even have to say that to anyone. Mm-hmm. It's understandable. And as I said, this is a country of laws.
Okay.
You're educated or not, in the Canadian environment such that we obey laws. And there are consequences if you don't obey laws.
Okay, so the interim committee, the interim leadership, did not threaten to revoke the results or consider the results null and void. What did they do? I mean, if you're going to go by semantics, if you're looking at me just removing threaten to make you satisfied to answer the question, then I don't understand. Because if you say something is wrong, and if it is not called off, you will definitely revoke the decision or the outcome of it. That's a threat.
But you speak of semantics here, but if you are going by semantics, then that's not what I said. We did not threaten. We informed them.
Okay.
Informing someone is not, give me chance, brother, please. Informing someone and threatening someone are not the same.
I like this, John. I like this. Okay. So you informed the group that were having the elections that if you move ahead, we will consider the outcome of the elections null and void. Does that suit your...
Yes. It will be null and void because that gathering was not endorsed by those who have legal status to operate the entity in this country.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this.
So it was best to advise our compatriots that don't waste your time, don't waste your resources, because everything that is going to happen there is going to happen illegally. So don't be misled by 2 or 3 individuals who say gather here. And it was important we communicated that because some people were not aware that any outcome of that process was just a waste of time.
Okay, understood. Points well taken. Let's agree those guys were operating outside the framework that was set by the interim committee. Let's say they didn't do the right things. I'm going to ask you this question: the provinces in Canada where Liberians reside, those are the provinces that came together to make FLAC. Is that correct?
No.
Okay.
It's not a province.
Your name says Federation of Liberian Associations in Canada.
Yeah, precisely. And let me respond to your question now.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, my response was no. And here's why.
Mm-hmm.
In my initial submission, I was clear. I said this gathering began because Reverend Katie thought we should have an association of all Liberians in Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
It went beyond having just an association for Ontario to a federal association.
Okay.
Now, a federal association that is in transition. So communities across this country did not come together to establish flag. This is an association in transition, if you understand the context in which I'm speaking. We did not have membership. We only had leaders, opinion leaders, and well-meaning Liberians in Ontario, Eastern and Southern Ontario, who came together. So in Newfoundland, in Alberta, in Vancouver, they had no idea as to what has been conceptualized in Ontario and what was being implemented. All of the transitional leaders, those appointed in the draft constitution, those appointed to oversee the association and have elections, they were all from Ontario right here.
Okay.
So no endorsement had come from anywhere, up to the point where we talk about transitional leaders and register the entity and started reaching out.
Okay. So
It was never ever a consensus from anywhere that we established this entity.
okay, great. Understood. When you say when you have a nomenclature as FLAG, Federation of Liberian Associations in Canada, when you have that kind of nomenclature, it speaks to anyone who will read that to say there are several Liberian institutions in this particular area that have come together under this banner. That's where I'm taking my premise. But let's move to a bigger issue. Let's make progress here, John and Bernard. So the interim leadership, and correct me if I'm saying the person's name right. Is it Kiadi or KDA?
Anyhow you call it.
No. But okay, all right. So Kiadi. So
people call it just both ways.
Oh, both ways. Okay.
Kiadi,
I just want to respect the way his name is pronounced because people take offense to you not calling them correctly. So Reverend Kiadi, he's a pastor, Pastor Kiadi?
Yeah, Pastor Caddy.
Okay, so Pastor Caddy was the head of that interim body prior to elections. Is that what I want to understand?
Gentlemen,
it's just a yes or no. Was he the head?
No, it cannot be a yes or no.
What is okay? Go ahead and explain.
Okay. First of all, let us be clear. We had, I said that earlier on, we had an ad hoc committee. We moved from an ad hoc committee to an interim administration, and then from an interim to a transitional administration. So FLAG, as it stands right now, FLAG is in transition. And we will be transitioning from this transitional administration to a full-fledged elected administration come November the 30th. Now, Pastor Caddy, Reverend Caddy, was the head of this ad hoc committee, as I mentioned, and I was a secretary to the ad hoc committee, and we had 2 other people that were elected to help with the setting up of this FLAG.
Okay.
That's from the inception of FLAG.
Okay.
So then we went to the city called Windsor, and there we had the interim administration put in place under Francis Hina.
Good. So ad hoc put in place the interim administration. Got it. Mm-hmm.
With a specific mandate.
Okay.
As I said, a 1-year mandate. It is important that we emphasize that 1-year mandate.
Correct.
So, first of all, to register this federation.
Right.
To register it, because we wanted to operate as a legal entity within the confines of Canada.
Was it registered? Did Hina
Not to operate under him.
did Francis Hina register the organization at the time of his leadership? Did he register the organization?
No,
He did not.
he did not.
Who registered? We got to make progress here, Bernard. Who registered FLAG? Who registered this organization? When Francis Hina didn't register the organization, who did the registration?
Okay, can I comment as well?
Go ahead, John.
Okay.
John, you there? Hello?
Hello, can I come in? Yes, can I come in?
Yeah, go ahead, John.
Yeah. You asked a question as to who registered this entity.
Yes.
I would just backtrack for a few seconds. Francis Hina was elected along with two others, Jada Quina and one other, to serve as interim leaders. And as I said before, they were given full mandates, which they failed to implement in 4 years. So it means that the initial roadmap we had established as founding fathers, I say this because we were the ones who gathered in Hamilton, Ontario, to lay out this roadmap to have a federation. 4 years down the road, no elections. 4 years down the road, he called elections through text messaging. When we had no election guidelines, no election commission set up. Across his province here, and some other leaders across this country, all agreed in principle that it was time for him to leave. An interim body got established. He was written to, informing him that his mandate had expired and an interim leadership had been established. Then after, at the very time that communication got sent to him, we did a name search. We noticed that he had not registered the federation in 4 years. We moved towards establishing registration with the federal government since then. We hold legal registration. If you go online right now and search for corporation, registered corporations in Canada, and type in the search engine FLAG, it will generate our information. You will see there 7 board members since 2018 who are serving as board members in collaboration with the interim team. An interim team that has put in place measures for us to have elected officials this November. So, Fuhina did not register the entity. Leo did not.
Who registered the entity? Okay. Point
I
well.
will rest here and then we can come here and speak as well.
Okay. Points well taken. Let's what you guys are not connecting here for me and my audience. You are not connecting the layers that we need that will show why we are where we are. I will go back to say this. According to you guys, according to two of you, John and Bernard, you said an ad hoc leadership was formed as a result of the coming together in Ontario. That ad hoc leadership went ahead then and put together an interim body. The interim body was given a mandate to move the federation to higher heights and better stuff within 4 years. Hina failed.
1 year, not 4 years.
What?
1 year.
Oh, one. Oh, okay. I think John is saying fold, maybe FULL, and I'm thinking.
No, you got me wrong. The interim administration served in Windsor, or 3 persons, had a mandate of 1 year.
Oh, 1 year. Okay.
They went on for 4 years.
But okay, so I'm now understanding now. You guys contradicting each other now.
But we're not contradicting each other. The mandate was for 1 year. But they ascribed power to themselves for 4 years. And as founding members, founding fathers had to step in to make sure that this organization has gone off the rails, get back on the rails, and we resume what we established within our roadmap.
And then you went ahead and formed another interim body again. So 2 interim bodies under
No, Roland. It was no 2 interim bodies. as founding members gather, and they resolve that interim leadership because they have outlaid their mandate.
Okay.
It means a new transitional team got established to resume the mandate that was initially established. And the first course of action, was to ensure that we register the entity right away.
Okay.
Because we could not afford to operate an entity, that is not registered.
Okay. So it seems to me this is more or less like a mafia cartel run type of scheme you guys have set up there, because you're talking about the godfathers coming and moving people, dissolving them, and putting another leadership or transitional leadership to move them. What I see that is fundamentally wrong here is, first of all, that one, I made it clear to you that when you coin the phrase or name federation, it's not just one person or one place. It's a conglomeration of several provinces.
A point of correction, Roland.
Okay.
Point of correction. This is no mafia syndicate here. Unfortunately, possibly you may have grown up in Liberia environment where there's no rule of law, right? So you still subscribe to those kind of values.
No.
We don't care if we don't care that you are the Premier of Ontario. We don't care that the Prime Minister of this country wants you to breach the law. The citizen has a responsibility to let you go.
And you have a point. You are correct. You have a point.
So if you have an association that is in transition, firstly, if we are not gathered as founding members, there will be nothing conflict. So we have a responsibility to take action and don't sit for people to usurp power onto themselves, for people to engage in self-seeking behaviors, and we sit and look on.
So let me ask this question. Right? The elections that were held in July...
You come from a democratic transition that you subscribe to, that you sit and watch things go out the way. People invest in government funds, people register, and you think it's okay. But with us here in Canada, we have different values.
Okay.
That we have inculcated over the years we have lived here. So it's not a matter of syndicate. We are taking action as democratic. We are taking action as based on the rule of law. That is based on regulations.
So let me ask you. No. So since you want to get to the nitty-gritty of not agreeing to the label, and let me say it this way. Okay. Understood.
I withdraw that label. Withdraw that label immediately.
Okay. Let me ask you this: the ad hoc.
Please withdraw that label. Please withdraw that label immediately. You don't.
When I withdraw before.
No, you don't start out as being mafia group. You have to withdraw that and apologize right now.
You see, you're getting emotional over this. You
don't come to an interview and be insolent. You are a moderator. You decide to attack those you call your interview. You have been so irresponsible.
Here's the thing.
And you have to apologize and withdraw that comment now. And I speak on behalf of the broader transitional team out there that is monitoring this interview.
I run this show. The show is not run by you. I invited you here for us to talk. No. Hold on. Let me take control of this. You're speaking so loud to the point that we have to reduce the volume on this thing. So we have to have a mature conversation here. No, give me a chance. I'm the moderator. It's not an insult. It's not an insult. I said, I said this seemed to be a mafia ran or cartel kind of syndicate that you guys are running, because you have an ad hoc committee, and you guys, nobody has given. Hold on. You said you formed an ad hoc group in Ontario. You said you formed an ad hoc group in Ontario. The ad hoc group formed an interim body. The interim body did not carry out the mandate of the ad hoc group. The ad hoc group decided to dissolve that body and create a transitional team. My question to you is this: was the ad hoc group giving any time limit as to when they would serve? what I'm understanding from you is just of the same people who formed the Ahol group.
You're not listening to us, Roland. You're not listening to us.
Okay. The Ahol group was Kiadi, you, and one or two other people that formed the Ahol group. You people started this since 2014. You were coming, Bernard. I'll give you a chance to come in. But let me just land, because I want to set the premise here that in as much as you guys are frowning on an elections that was held by a group of people under the name flag, which you said you don't want to be associated with, which I understand, but you also want to say...
Roland, I don't think you are listening to us. You just listen.
Let me come here.
Just a second before you come in to say, Roland, you expect us to associate with something that is illegal?
But I just said it, and you said no.
We don't think about things.
Go ahead.
You want us to associate with something that is illegal?
I did not say that.
We will not... No, that's what you said. You said we are refusing to associate with some illegal group that got established somewhere.
Okay.
We cannot, under any circumstance, operate with an illegal group. That's just it. We have a legal group here. It's left for you to recognize us as legitimate body representing flag in this country or not. And that's your discretion. You can use it anyway. You have the liberty to choose.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
But don't place us in the category as mafias. Possibly you don't understand democratic governance.
Okay.
In a democratic governance structure, when an organization gets established, there's a period of transition. And transitional actions take place during that time.
Who elected the ad hoc group? Who elected the ad hoc group? Who elected the ad hoc group?
Explain that we had a team. We had an organization that was in transition. So most of the measures that got taken at the time were transitional measures.
Okay. So, okay, I got your point.
Can I come in now, please?
Yes, Bernard, here's my question to you. The team or the group that came together to hold the elections that, what's his name, Leo Johnson won. I have in my possession a letter from the provinces in Canada, signed by the Liberian Association leadership in those different provinces, giving their full support to Leo Johnson. So if you guys are going to hold something like this to say it is not going to be accepted, or the leadership will not be accepted, and you're about to hold another elections in November, don't you see this as a huge crisis? Don't you see it? This guy. Yeah, go ahead, Zeze.
Can I come in?
Yes.
Yes,
Zeze. You have the floor.
The opportunity now, excellent, very good. Now, Roland, this is the issue here at hand.
Okay.
I want to re-echo what John was saying to you. I am on this call with the impression that you are here to gather information, and not here to render judgment.
I'm not rendering judgment. I'm playing devil's advocate to get the information from both sides.
Okay, but when you declare that one group, we are, you try to draw the analogy of what did he say? Was that a mafia or something like that? That was out of bounds. This is the point that John was trying to make to you. And I do share that view that you should not render judgment, but you should take what? Our side of the story.
I said it is being ran.
I should think, let me finish. Hold on. I should think that when you are done with us, you should also seek to have Leo Johnson's side of the story.
Okay.
Now, listen to our side of the story, listen to their side of the story, and you publish.
Who said I haven't listened to Leo's side?
Public out there render judgment.
But who said I haven't listened to Leo's side?
That, let me go into few things now. Now, okay. The information that you may have in your possession, claiming that provinces came together and elected Leo Johnson.
No, I didn't say elected. Give their support.
Johnson.
Yeah.
That is what is referred to, if I may just quote Donald Trump of the U.S., fake information.
Okay, seemed like we lost our guest there. We might continue this conversation again if they so choose to call back. I'm not sure what happened, but we lost them. We lost them here. We lost them. So we're going to go ahead and wait to see if we can get these guys back on again. I will go right now and just play some music. Hopefully they can reconnect and we can go from that point.